Welcome to the Flora podcast, a place where we help you create a life you're excited about. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. This is Flora and this is a walk and talk episode. This is going to be a solo episode. I know all of you have been absolutely loving these conversations that we've been having with people, and I have so many more cool conversations that we're going to have starting in the middle of January. I do have a few weeks where I want to riff about a couple things. And today specifically, it is December 28th. We are in that transitional space from the holidays to New Year's and the beginning of the calendar year. And I was having a conversation with one of my clients about happiness and how the holidays always kind of brings up more unhappiness. And so we had this really incredible conversation about what happiness really is and why we seem to have this elusive relationship with it. Like we're in the pursuit of happiness. And you know, that's something for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I think hearing that phrase makes us feel like we have to pursue happiness and we can't just be happy. And the fact of the matter is that you can absolutely just be happy and for no apparent reason. So the other day I purchased a bag from this company called Love Bags. And it was so awesome. I unwrapped it and there was this warning label. And I want to read the warning label to you because it's awesome. Okay, so it says, and it's got this huge orange band with this dark black warning. And it says, use of this product is known to cause severe happiness and unbridled joy. Possible giddiness may occur. Do not use this product if you are uncomfortable with fun, laughter, or pleasant feelings. Typically, a sense of pride and righteousness, along with the feelings of contentment, follow shortly after use. Please be aware that people will find you more attractive when using Love Bags and may attempt to hug you. If you experience any of these symptoms, do not consult a doctor. Rather, spread the love to your family and friends. It is infectious and irresistible. Keep out of reach of grumpy people. Please use with proper care and a smile. So, with that said, I actually want to share with you what came up when I Googled what is the true meaning of happiness. And this is what came up. And I quote, happiness is an emotional state characterized by the feelings of joy, satisfaction, contentment, and fulfillment. While happiness has many different definitions, it is often described as involving positive emotions and life satisfaction. Another thing that came up, and I'm not going to talk about that in this episode, but happiness is also based on the country that you live in and also what you value. And it was interesting because some countries said that they were more happy. They're just like, yeah, I'm really, really happy. And other countries weren't happy. So I just found that really fascinating. Again, that whole country thing is a conversation for another episode. So with that said, I was speaking with my client about happiness and what that actually means for her and how she could start to bring more happiness into her life. And I was just like, well, you know, where are you right now? Are you happy with your current standing in life? And she really gave it a good thought. And she's like, well, I'm happy in this part of my life. I feel contentment. I feel satisfaction and fulfillment in these couple of areas. But in these other areas, I'm not. Like, I am not happy. I'm not fulfilled and all this other stuff. And so I was like, okay, perfect. So if you think about a map, this is where you're starting from. Okay? Now, what do you want to feel? What do you want to experience? What do you want to have in these areas of your life where you don't feel fulfillment or, you know, contentment and satisfaction? And she started to name off these things that she specifically wants. And I'm like, perfect. What's one thing you can do to get closer from where you are to where you want to go? Like, what's one thing you can do that's going to bring you closer to what you want? And she was like, oh, well, that's easy. And she said something, and I was like, exactly. So do that, and then message me back. And so she did that, and then she messaged me back. She's like, oh my God, Flora, that feels so good. Like, I actually feel more relaxed. I feel a little happier. And I was like, imagine that. She goes, right? Oh my God. And so this is now her daily practice where she just checks in with herself. How am I feeling? And what do I want? And what's one thing I can do to get there? And that literally, if you've read my book, that's literally the 1 degree shift in a nutshell. Where am I at? Where do I want to be? What's one thing I can do to get closer to where I want to be? This literally is your navigation. This is your navigation. This is your GPS, okay? What doing this does is it aligns you to your perfect life. Your perfect life, your dream life, is going to look different than mine. It's going to look different than the neighbor. It's going to look different than your mother-in-law, than your best friend. Your version of your dream life or your version of happiness should look different than other people in your life. It might be similar, but what makes you happy doesn't necessarily or won't necessarily make somebody else happy. Allow yourself to be the curator of your life and of your experiences. This is how you align yourself. You really stop and say, where am I at? Like, when was the last time you took stock of your life? When was the last time you asked yourself, what phase of life am I in? Like, am I raising kids? Am I building a business? Am I an empty nester? Am I pre-kids? Do I even want kids? You know, what am I doing? Am I in transition? Am I convalescing? If you're convalescing, that trumps everything. When you're in transition, like moving, that trumps everything. Like, that will take precedent over everything else just because everything is all disheveled. But take stock. Where are you right now? Where are you right now in your life? And how do you feel about it? Be radically honest with yourself about where you're at. And then say, okay, perfect. Now that I know where I'm at, this is where I'm starting from. Where do I want to be? What do I want? What is my vision? You're listening to this possibly on December 28th, 2022. That's when this comes out. Where am I at right now, the end of the year? At the beginning of this year, did I imagine I would be here at this space? What did I accomplish? What did I overcome? What was I victorious about? What did I fall victim to? What happened to me instead of for me? Again, that is a mental shift. I've talked about that in a previous, episode. How do I feel about it? Do I feel empowered or do I feel powerless? Really take stock and really be honest. And don't poo-poo yourself if you feel like a victim or if you feel like, life shit on you this past year. Shit is fertilizer, I promise you. I grew up in Wisconsin. Those years that, the fields stunk because they put so much manure on them. The next crops were huge. And the bounty from those crops were ridiculous. Ridiculous. So it's okay if this past year was a shit show for you. It is okay. Because I'm telling you, when you have a shit show happen, that's fertilizer for what's coming. And what's coming is incredible. But the more intentional that you can be about where you go, the even more, like the more epic it's going to be. I promise you. I've been working with people for 25 years now. 25 years. And the more honest you can get with yourself about where you are and what you want, where you want to go, the more intentional you naturally start to be. Because what happens is you start to ask yourself, is this thing that I'm doing bringing me closer or farther away to what I want? That's it. That one question. Is this one action going to bring me closer to what I want, or is it going to pull me farther away? And if you ask yourself that question before you do anything in your life, you're going to quickly see what actions you're doing that are sabotaging you and which ones are in your favor. Truly. So the more you start to do actions that bring you closer to what you want, the happier you're going to feel. Simply because you're going to notice you're getting closer. And you're going to be like, dude, I am so excited. Oh my gosh. You start to feel that fulfillment and that satisfaction and that contentment and that joy. Because you know you are getting closer to what you want. You can tell, like your body, your physiology can tell when you're doing stuff that is not in alignment with where you want to go, because it feels like shit. It feels hard. It feels overwhelming. You feel frustrated. You're like, ugh, what the heck? Why am I doing this? Ugh. Your body knows. Your spirit, your essence knows this is not you. This is not what you want. And the second you make that decision to do something in your favor, you start to feel that shift, and you feel a little bit more positive, and you start to feel a little bit more uplifted. I see this all the time with business owners who do the things that they quote unquote think that they need to do. And then when I meet with them, I'm like, why are you doing X, Y, Z? Well, because that's what I have to do. I'm like, who says you have to do it? Well, my previous coach. I'm like, are you getting results from doing X, Y, Z? Well, no. I'm like, stop doing it then. And they're like, but. I'm like, what would happen if you stopped doing X, Y, Z? Oh, shit. Well, I'd probably get like 3 hours back in my day. All right, try that for a week, and then let's talk. They come back a week later. Oh my God, I have so much more time now that I'm not doing X, Y, Z, and I actually made 3 sales this past week without even really trying. Well, there you go. See? You've come into alignment. You've eliminated non-essentials, which allowed you to be more present in those essential things that you're doing in your business, and you got more results with less action. Boom. That's what I do with my private clients, is I help them figure out where they're at, where they want to go, and eliminate the distractions getting in the way from being able to take those perfect right steps and actions, those little 1-degree shifts. So with that said, today, give yourself permission to grab your journal, or just do this mentally. I prefer a journal because you can actually see it in real time. Take stock of where you're at in your life, in your business. How do you feel about all the facets? How do you feel about your time, your energy, your finances, your health, your wealth, all the stuff? How are you sleeping? How's your sex life? How's your relationship with your partner, with your kids, with your family? How's your social media usage? Give yourself permission to take a snapshot of your life right now. Then ask yourself, am I happy? Am I happy? Just yes or no. If you're not happy, ask yourself why. If you are happy, perfect. Keep doing what you're doing. If you're not happy, say, okay, I'm not happy where I'm at. Where do I want to be? You'll get an answer, trust me. Write that answer down, put it on the mirror. Ask yourself every day, what's one thing I can do that will bring me closer to getting that, or having that, or doing that, or being that version of myself? Every day, one thing. That's your 1-degree shift that will bring you into alignment to your dream life. I promise you this works. I've been doing it. I've been helping people do this for 25 years. I know it works. I've seen it thousands of times. If you want my help with this, click the link in the show notes that says Get Coaching. let's talk. Let's have a conversation. If you know it's right for you, just jump on my calendar. Let's start. I want this next year to be your best year in decades. And it just keeps getting better and better and better. All right, I love you. I hope this serves you. I will speak with you soon. Thank you for listening to today's podcast episode. All links mentioned are in today's show notes.